What's up, our family? It's your boy Tay Payton, creator of the Beginner Drawing Course 1 and the Beginner Drawing Course 2. Today we're going to be talking about the course I am currently building out, which is the 24-week Ultimate Platinum Edition of the Beginner Drawing Course 2. So currently the Beginner Drawing Course 2 has 8 weeks released, so that's 4 plus 4, so 8 weeks, basically 2 months worth of learning. My plan is to 3x that into 24 weeks of jam-packed artistic progress for your creative capacities. So we already have the first 8 weeks out. Those are Drawing Basics, Starting Simple. That's free on YouTube. Go watch that. Link in the description. Then we have Fundamentals, the basis of drawing evolution. So introducing you to all the fundamentals you're going to need to be a strong artist, or to build the strength that you need in the beginning to become a stronger artist. Drawing from life, going to the source and what it teaches. Can't get enough life drawing. It's going to increase your abilities, bar none. Quick Sketching 101, getting good at laying foundations fast, not overthinking, just letting your intuition take over. A lot of gesture drawing. Then we go into number 5, which is drawing development, refining the base work, so how to take something quick and turn it into something less quick and more polished and qualitative. After that, we're going into easy and effective perspective, creating those instant feelings of space, making sure that you know what plane you're looking at in terms of the surface, whether it's under or if you're looking at the top of something. So that's the perspective lesson. Creative drawing, using reference as a path to success, so getting really good at utilizing reference and getting creative with that. Shading and values, working with light and the marks that describe it. So after learning a lot of line and a lot of construction, we're going to start learning how to add more form and shading by separating things into light and shadow. All that is already released. That is already available for you right now at thebeginnerdrawingcourse.com and in the description box. But we're now getting into the Uncharted Territory, the place where drawing magic is made, which is lesson 9, finding and correcting errors in your drawings. So we all make errors. To err is human, and you have to know what to look for and how to fix it. That's what that lesson is all about. Next, we're going to get into Intro to Illustration, which will imbue your work with impact. We can always say something is an illustration, but an illustration is a thought out and planned idea on a picture plane that captures a moment that stimulates us and evokes feeling. That's what we're going to be talking about, and how to look for those things, how to start those things off as a, more of a neophyte artist. After that, we're going to get into the 10 elements of drawing magic, further basics to boost your pieces. So since we go into the 2/3 mark of the course, we're just learning more and more basics that can build upon the basics you've already learned here. After that, we're getting into finalizing an illustration in grayscale, so not getting into color yet. We're not going to color yet. I know how much you want to get into color, but we're not there yet, trust me. Grayscale is where you learn for a long time. It's really, really important to understand how form works, and it's way easier to do in grayscale. After which, we're going to go into concept art, which seems like a weird place to start right after getting into grayscale, like learning how to finalize an illustration in grayscale. But believe me when I say concept art is a great way to explore and express your ideas. It's going to be building upon a lot of the gesture drawing we learned, a lot of the other basics and perspectives and whatnot, but we need to get a lot of ideas out and to work on the idea while we're working on the drawing. So that's what that lesson is all about. Next, we're going to go to Concept Art 2, where we're going to elaborate on new ways to take those ideas beyond the basics. So we're starting to evolve at this point in the course. We're starting to go even more beyond what we had learned prior, which is how to get things to a certain point of polish and how to get into the illustrative aspect. But then we're going to start working on the ideas too, not just the stimulation, but the design. Okay, so the design is really important. After that, we're going to work on backgrounds and scenery for 2 lessons, which is, basics for drawing, backgrounds from the mountains all the way to the interiors. So things we learned in perspective, things we learned with our line work and our form and our shading. After which, we're going to do that, one more lesson for week 16, and that wraps us up. So we effectively, in the 2/3 mark of the course, which I believe I called the Gold Edition or something, which is subject to change, we go and we look at how we can take all those basics we learned in the first third, and in the second third, we're going to start learning how to illustrate and how to conceptualize. So not just having these tools for no reason, even though it's fun to draw for the sake of drawing, having these tools to express your ideas, whether very illustratively or very conceptually and design-wise. After that, my friends, is where it gets interesting. So we're going to start getting into the 3/3 mark of the course, so the full spectrum of learning here. So once we go beyond week 16, we are going into nude figure drawing. Yes, that's right, you heard me, nude figure drawing. So this is artistic nudity, of course. We're not talking about your shall we say, more iniquitous sights and urges. We're talking about the beauty that is the body and how you can understand those forms and those flows from an anatomical aspect and get even better at musculature, anatomy, things of that nature. So I know you want some of that. Next, we're going into clothed figure drawing, so we don't spend too much time on the nude body. Believe me, this isn't that kind of course, although if you guys want it, I probably would make it tastefully, of course, tastefully. We're going next into figure drawing 2 with clothes, so learning how to understand how attire is reacting to the body. As you can see, when I move, the cloth moves, my shirt moves, and when I wrinkle it or when I add points of tension, then of course it's going to create different areas of compression and stretching and stuff like that. So we got to understand how that works so we can put clothes on the figures so we're not just drawing naked bodies all the time. Although I know some of you want that, and this is not the channel for it. I'm sorry, baby. You got to go somewhere else. You can learn some of it here, but not all of it. Okay, so after that, we're going to get into animal creature drawing for 2 lessons, which is learning the ins and outs of creature anatomy and structure. You know, we've learned how to build some of the human stuff. We're going to learn how the creature stuff differs and how to build that. And then we're going to go into the second lesson where we start doing it more from imagination once we understand the basics of doing it from life. So here, as an example, is an old, not very old, but this was a dragon that I painted when I was in preschool. I didn't cast this dragon. It was just like an after-school ceramics class, but I remember this was one of the artistic awakenings for me when I saw this creature and I'm like, this looks really, really cool and I want to paint this. And so the lady, the teacher lady at the time who was running the ceramics class helped me paint it. And I took it home and I glazed it and it got this whole little finish and stuff. And just in my high school days, I would put shall we say, a little bit of Zaza in the bottom of it. But now it is just a nice little desk ornament and something very meaningful to me. But regardless, you can see that this anatomy is not something that is real. This creature has been made up. So we're going to learn how to do stuff like this and how to create shapes like this so that once you understand how actual anatomy works, you can play with it imaginatively. And then we're going to go on to intermediate illustration 1 and 2, where we're going to start fusing ideas and narrative to create impactful art. So this is where we will get into color, finally. I know. You can taste all those wonderful tones and hues and chromas all in one place. You can saturate them, all the things that you want to do with color. We're going to start talking about that in these 2 lessons. So, but we're also going to talk about polishing things up as well. So getting to the edge of our abilities to finish. Just the very edge of what you can do is where things that are interesting happen. It's where you stay engaged. It's where people can tell you were really, really involved. And that's how you start to create things that are really, really impactful. After that, it's just creative success. So the final 2 lessons of the beginner drawing course are where we're going to talk about honing your artistic voice and telling your stories. Yes, you, the unique being watching this very video. How you get to that point is with a lot of introspection, a lot of questions, a lot of prompting, things that you like, things that made a big impact on you, and how you can start to mix those things and process them and compile them into something that is your own. So we're going to get into a lot of that so that your stuff starts to look more unique, more like you. By the end of the 24 weeks, you're just planting the seed for that. And then that's week 23. So the final 24th week is best practices for building a following, earning income, and staying stable in your creative capacities. So this is something that I wanted to use as sort of the keystone for the course. Once I've given you all of my knowledge that I have built over the past 10 years, since I graduated in 2013 with a degree in media arts and animation and worked as a freelance illustrator and concept artist, I'm giving you all of that in this course. I'm holding nothing back from you. And once you're at the very end, you'll then have the first seeds you need to begin gathering that following, perhaps monetizing it, different ways of monetization as an artist so that you can use it as a side hustle, or, you know, if you get really good and really diligent and serious, as your main source of income. Now, this is something that I know is not for everybody, and only the ones who really, really have a calling inside or a creative adventure that they are trying to thrust themselves into, those are the people I'm speaking to. So it's okay if you just get to all the technical stuff and you're like, I just like to paint and draw. That's fine. That's perfect. We can totally get you to a place where you're expressing that for yourself, and maybe if you want, you can take them to your local art fair. But for those who want more than that, they want a stable way of developing personally and implementing art into their everyday life and their income and meshing that with work and whatnot, that is where the keystone comes comes in at the end of the course. So I just want to thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, how I can better serve you with the beginner drawing course and everything that it has become over these last couple of years. I mean, I think I've had the channel for like 7, 8, 9 now. Either way, it's been great. I really enjoy all the support. Subscribe if you will to look forward to more course updates. I will be releasing free previews of the course, perhaps full lessons even. So if you aren't subscribed, be sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss it and let other people draw way ahead of you. Again, my name is Tate Payton. You can already check out the courses I've completed and get yourself up to speed at thebeginnerdrawingcourse.com, as well as take free lessons. And with that, I will say see you in the next video. Take care and happy drawing.